Welcome to this demonstration of Bank Transaction Tracker, or BTT. Bank Transaction Tracker is a web application for tracking income and expenses. You can download your bank transactions as CSV files via internet banking and upload them into BTT. You can then monitor your cash flow and income and expenses. BTT observes how you classify your transactions and learns to do it automatically. Let's give it a try. To use the demo version, go to the website btt.gologix.com and you'll get this screen. Click where it says please click here, then click where it says click here to register. Enter your email address. Choose a password. Type it again to confirm it. Click register. This initiates a confirmation email to your email address. Go to your email, open the email, and where it says to, click here to confirm your new account. Okay, you can now log in. So we'll enter that email address and password. We'll tick the Keep Me Logged In button so we don't have to log in every time we go to the website. Log in. Okay. Right, first I'll show you the categories. These are the categories you use to classify your income and expenditure. These are the default ones. You can add new ones by clicking Categories and Add. You can modify the existing ones to change their name or their category types from expense to income, etc. There are two very special ones called Transfer In and Transfer Out. You use those for any transactions that involve transferring money from one account to another. For example, a transaction account might be used to pay the balance on a credit card account. The transaction account will record this as a transfer out, and the credit card account will classify this as a transfer in. Okay, you also get a default set of accounts, some generic names like Bank A, Bank B. You can modify those, delete those, or add new ones to match your actual bank accounts. Okay, we need to get some transactions into BTT. So we'll go to Transactions and click Upload. We'll choose a file that is a CSV file that we've downloaded via our internet banking. We'll choose which bank account it belongs to, and we'll click Upload. Okay. BTT attempts to determine the definitions of the columns of the CSV file. You can see here it's ignored the ones that aren't relevant. It's correctly identified a date column, a description column, a debit column, and a credit column. If any of these are wrong, we can simply click on them and change them to the correct definition. We can also tell BTT what date format the bank is using. In this case it's already got it right, day, month, year. Different banks use different things. Over on the right hand side you can see how BTT has classified the transactions. We have not entered any previous transactions, so BTT doesn't attempt to classify them in this case because it learns how to classify based on how you classify them. You can see the first line here, it's set the default action to ignore because this is just a header. It's not an actual transaction. It's just the definitions of the CSV file columns. The rest, it's set the default action to keep because they are transactions. And because this is a new setup, we need to classify the ones that we've got here. So I'll just go through and classify them. That's a transfer in. That's an education expense. So is that one. This one looks like an investment expense. So does that one. This one's another education expense. This one's an education expense. Okay. All right. Once you're happy with all the categories and the actions, you just click the Proceed button, and all those transactions are uploaded into BTT and displayed. Okay. When you're uploading transactions for the first time, you also need to set the initial balance of each bank account. This is just a one-off task. From then on, the balances of the accounts will be correct because you're uploading all the transactions. To add the initial balance, you click Transactions and Add. You select the account name that you're doing it for. You put a date that precedes the transactions you uploaded. Put in a description. I'd suggest using the description initial balance. Okay, set the category to transfer in and put in the amount. Click Add. And that just becomes another transaction. Okay, you can search your transactions by clicking Transactions Search Modify. There's lots of different criteria you can use to search for a particular transaction. The category name, the category type, account names. You can even specify a search string for the description to find a word that's in the description, and you can set a date range. Then when you've done all that, you click Search and it will list all the transactions. From there you can delete or modify each one. Okay, let's take a look at reports. There are 4 different reports. Expenses by category is one. You can see there it's a pie chart just showing the percentages of expenditure for each category. The income by category is very similar except for income. There's a cash flow graph which shows your overall cash position. You can zoom in on a particular part of the graph for more detail. You can change the date range, etc. You can also look at your account balances. We've only got one account here so far, but if we had more, it would show them all on the same graph. Okay, which I've done there. When that graph gets too busy, you can actually turn off different accounts by clicking on the relevant entry in the legend. Or you can also, on the right, select a particular account and just show one at a time. Okay, if you want someone else to be able to see the same transactions and data as you do, you can do that. You click My Account and click the Change Group section. By default, your group name is created when you sign up and it has your email address in it just so it's unique. You probably want to change that to something sensible. So we'll click Change Name and we'll call it Acme Pty Ltd for our company name, for example. Okay, if you want to add someone else in as a person who can see the data, you click Add Member. They have to have already signed up to BTT. You put in their email address, click Add. Okay, so when they log in and they click Change Group, they'll actually see 2 entries here. Their default one, and then they'll see the one I've put in, which I've called Acme. And they can make one active by clicking the radio button on the right and click Submit. And then they'll see the exact same transactions and accounts as you do. Well, that's the end of this brief demo. I hope you found it useful.